Hi guys, welcome to Engineers YouTube channel, and today we are going to talk about electron configuration. So I decided to create a video about electron configuration kasi napansin natin na maraming mga STEM students ang medyo nalilito or nahihirapan sa electron configuration. So pag-aralan natin ngayon kung ano nga ba itong electron configuration and mag-solve din tayo ng mga sample problems na magagamit ninyo sa mga paghahanda ninyo sa inyong mga quizzes and exams. Pero bago natin pag-usapan kung ano ba itong electron configuration, kailangan maintindihan muna natin yung atomic structure. So, hindi na natin ito pag-uusapan sa video na to, but I expect that you watch our previous video about atomic structure. Naka-upload na yan sa ating YouTube channel at maaari nyo siyang i-view at pag-aralan para mas maintindihan natin kung paano ba masasagutan yung mga electron configuration problems natin. Alright, so naintindihan natin dito sa ating atomic structure na sa loob ng nucleus meron tayong neutron and proton. And outside our nucleus, doon nakalagay ang ating electron. And sa mga textbooks, makikita ninyo yan, tinatawag nating electron cloud in an atom. An electron cloud represents the area around an atom's nucleus where electrons are most likely to be found. Okay, so yung nucleus natin dito is itong red na nasa gitna at itong mga blue na nakapaligid, yan yung ating electrons, okay? So, itong area na to is yung tinatawag nating electron cloud, kung saan dito natin makikita yung mga electrons. Well, natutunan natin sa ating previous videos that electrons are in continuous motion. So, para mas ma-visualize natin kung ano ba yung nangyayari, we can watch this video. And as you can see, itong continuous movement ng ating electrons sa paligid ng ating atoms are very organized. So, hindi talaga nagbabanggaan yung ating electrons because na rin sa ating concept that those with same charges repel each other. Okay? So, makikita ninyo kung ano yung nangyayari sa bawat atoms natin. So, meron tayong electrons sa paligid ng ating atoms that are in continuous motion. Alright, so alam na natin that our electrons are found in the electron cloud and they are in continuous motion. So one thing that I want you to remember about the electron is that they are very organized and they are arranged in a certain pattern. So the electrons in the atom exist in energy levels or shells. So let us consider this green circle as our nucleus. So, meron tayong iba't ibang energy levels or shells. So, let us say this one which is our first shell or energy level 1. Okay, so katulad ng sinabi natin dito sa paligid ng ating nucleus, doon natin matatagpuan yung ating electrons. Okay, so on this example, let's say we have an electron dito sa ating first shell. And nakita naman natin sa video natin, napakaraming electrons na makikita natin sa iba't ibang elements. And kung meron tayong first shell, of course, meron din tayong second energy level which is our second shell. Meron din tayong third shell and so on. Alright, so now we know that there are different energy levels or shells. Ang tanong natin ngayon is how do we distribute yung electrons natin dito sa mga energy levels na to? So basta na lang ba sila naka-arrange dyan or merong appropriate na bilang ng electrons sa bawat energy levels natin or shells? Well, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, our electrons are organized properly. So, alamin natin ngayon kung ano ba yung maximum number of electrons in each energy level. Okay, so we are following this equation here to determine kung ano ba yung maximum number of electrons sa bawat energy level natin. So we have 2n squared where n is the number of energy level. So if we want to know kung ano ba yung maximum number of electrons natin in specific energy level or shell, we just have to substitute yung energy level natin dito sa n. So let us do that para maintindihan natin kung ilan ba yung electrons sa bawat energy level natin. So in our first shell or yung energy level 1 natin, so we're going to use our equation 2n squared. So papalitan natin yung n ng 1 because we are in the first energy level. So 1 squared is of course equal to 2. But dito sa ating illustration, isa lang yung ating electron. So alam natin na meron tayong dalawang electron dyan. So let us add another one. So let us take note of that. Dito sa ating first shell, we have maximum of 2 electrons. Alright, so let's go to energy level 2. Let's again use our equation 2n squared and substitute 2 to our n. So we have 2 times 2 squared, which is equal to 8. So therefore, dito sa ating second shell, we have 8 electrons. So later on, I will explain kung bakit nilagay natin yung ating illustration that we have pair of electrons, okay, na pinaghiwa-hiwalay natin. Okay? So dito sa ating second shell, we have maximum of 8 electrons. Now let's go to our energy level 3. So palitan natin yung n ng 3. So we have maximum number of electrons, which is 18. Okay, so ilagay natin siya sa ating illustration. So in our third shell, we have a maximum number of 18 electrons. So imagine habang tumataas yung ating energy level, mas dumadami yung ating electrons. Okay, so we're just going to do that sa mga susunod pang energy level. So energy level 4, we have maximum of 32 electrons. Energy level 5, we have 50. And energy level 6, we have 72. Okay, so this is how you determine kung ilan ba yung maximum number of electrons na meron tayo sa bawat energy level natin. Alright, so hindi pa dyan natatapos yan. Katulad ng sabi ko, they are very organized. Dahil masyadong dumadami nga yung ating electrons, we have to understand that these energy levels are also further divided into sublevels or subshells. There are things that we need to remember about the sublevels. These sublevels are designated by letters. Each sublevel consists of a set of orbitals, and each of these orbitals hold a maximum of 2 electrons. Alright, so isa-isahin natin yan para mas maintindihan natin. So sabi natin, these sublevels are designated by letters. So ano-ano ba yung mga letters na nagre-represent ng ating sublevels? So una na dyan is yung sublevel or subshell S, in which merong maximum number of electrons na 2. We have subshell P, which has a maximum number of electrons na 6. Subshell D, which has a maximum number of electrons na 10. Subshell F, maximum number of electrons na 14. And subshell G, which has a maximum number of electrons na 18. Actually, hindi dito to natatapos. The succeeding letters are arranged now alphabetically. So, meron tayong F, G, H, I, J, K, and so on. Okay? Alright, so naintindihan natin before na meron tayong energy level at meron din tayong sub-level or sub-shell. So, paano natin yun i-relate yung maximum number of electrons sa ating energy level or shell to our sub-level or sub-shell? So, sabi natin kanina, no, meron in our energy level, para malaman natin yung maximum number of electrons, pina-follow natin yung 2n squared na equation. So, ito yung maximum number of electrons natin. Now, malalaman natin ilan bang sub-level meron tayo sa bawat energy level. So, tatandaan lang natin kung ano yung number ng ating energy level, ganun din yung number ng ating sub-level. So, halimbawa, in our energy level 1, isa lang yung ating sub-level. So, wala tayong sub-level dito, no? Which is 1s, so maximum of 2 electrons. Then, to our energy level 2, meron tayong dalawang subshell. Kung makikita mo, meron tayo ditong 2s and 2p. So, yung 2 represents yung ating energy level. Then, S and P represents yung ating sub-level or sub-shells. So, maximum number of 8. Kasi kung makikita ninyo, ilan ba yung maximum number ng electron? Meron tayo sa S, meron tayong 2. Sa P, meron tayong 6. Okay? So, if we add yung electrons natin dyan, 6 plus 2, we have maximum number of electrons na 8. Okay? Now, for energy level 3, meron tayong maximum number of electrons na 18. Meron tayong number of sub-level na 3. So, meron tayong 3s, 3p, and 3d. So, sabi natin, 18 ang maximum number of electrons. So, try natin i-add. Sa 3d, meron tayong 10, no? So, 10 electrons. And then, meron tayong 6 sa p. and meron tayong 2 sa S. So therefore, if we add all the electrons, we have 18 number of electrons. So this will go on sa mga succeeding energy levels natin. So energy level 4, meron tayong 4 na sublevels. Energy level 5, meron tayong 5 sublevels. At energy level 6, we have 6 sublevels. Alright, so sabi dito, each sublevel consists of a set of orbitals. And each of these orbitals holds a maximum of 2 electrons. So, yun yung dahilan kung bakit yung representation natin kanina is nilagay natin yung ating mga electrons in pairs because each orbitals holds a maximum of 2 electrons lang. So, para mas ma-visualize natin siya ng maayos, pinag-pair na natin yung ating mga electrons. Alright, so magbigay tayo ng example. Let's say for our element helium. Well, alam natin that helium has an atomic number of 2, which represent na meron tayong proton na 2 sa loob ng ating nucleus. And for a stable atom, we also have 2 electrons sa labas ng ating atom. Okay, so sabi natin, each sublevel consists of a set of orbitals. So makikita natin sa ating mga textbooks na meron tayong mga box na may 2 arrow. So pag tinignan yung mga textbook natin about electron configuration, talaga makikita ninyo itong mga box na to. So itong box na to represent yung orbitals natin at laging meron lang siyang maximum of 2 electrons. So again, the box represents our orbital. And each orbital holds a maximum of 2 electrons. So, yan yung nare-represent ng ating arrows. Okay, so meron tayong 2 direction ng arrows dito, which represent yung direction ng ating spin. And makikita natin sa textbooks na this is also represented by this nomenclature. Okay, so this example represents also the electron configuration of helium. Okay, so we have 1s2. 1 represents the energy level. Okay, so malalaman natin kung nasa ang energy level ba yung ating helium. S represents the type of orbital and 2 represents the number of electron in the orbital. Kasi, I will give you an example. In the nucleus, meron tayong first level, no? Yung energy level 1 natin. So, sa helium, meron tayong 2 electrons because we have an atomic number of 2. So, we have 1s2. Okay? Because 2 represents the number of electrons na nasa ating orbital. How about yung hydrogen? Hydrogen has only 1 atomic number. So, that means it only has 1 proton. And for a stable hydrogen, we only have 1 electron outside our nucleus. So, ibig sabihin, para sa hydrogen, dito sa ating energy level 1, meron lang tayong 1 electron. Okay? So, how are you going to write that on this nomenclature? So, we have 1s dahil nandito rin siya sa ating first energy level. Okay? And sa ating first energy level, meron lang naman tayong 1 sublevel which is s. So, we have 1s din. Pero, isa lang yung ating electron for hydrogen. So, therefore, for hydrogen, we have 1s1. So, that will be for hydrogen. And for helium, we have 1s2 because we have 2 electrons. Okay? So, this is how we use this nomenclature. Alright, so, pag-usapan pa natin ng mas malalim itong ating mga sublevels or subshells. And sinulat natin kung ilan ba yung maximum number of electrons na meron tayo sa bawat subshells natin. Alright, so for our S subshell, meron tayong maximum of 2 electrons. So, nakita ninyo, meron tayong 1 orbital and each orbital has 2 electrons. So, this one box with 2 arrows of electrons represents our S orbital. Okay? Okay, so para sa ating subshell S, we have 1 orbital and 2 electrons. Okay, so how about for subshell P? Sabi natin, meron tayong 6 maximum number of electrons. Pero tatandaan natin that we only have 2 electrons for every 1 orbital. So, to represent our sublevel or subshell P, we have 3 boxes. And each box has 2 electrons. So, therefore, for our P subshell, we have 3 orbital and 6 electrons. So, similarly dito sa ating subshell D, which we have a maximum number of electrons 10. We have 5 orbitals and 10 electrons. So basically, yung na-compute natin kung ilan ba yung maximum number of electrons natin, we'll just have to divide it by 2 para malaman kung ilang orbital meron tayo. Alright, so now I'm going to show you kung paano natin na-identify kung saang sub-level nakapabilang yung ating element using our periodic table. Okay, so this is our periodic table of elements. So itong ating group 1A and group 2A belongs to S subshell, including itong ating helium. Kasi pinakita naman natin kanina, no, that the electron configuration of helium is 1s2. Okay? So, itong part na to ng ating periodic table, including helium, is part of our S subshell. And then, this part of our periodic table belongs to the P subshell. Ito namang nasa gitna belongs to the D subshell, and yung nasa baba natin belongs to the F subshell. Okay, so ma-identify natin kung saang subshell belong yung ating element by using the periodic table. Alright, so let us talk about how are we writing the electronic configuration of our elements. So going back to this slide, we're going to talk first about the Pauli exclusion principle. So according to the Pauli exclusion principle, no two electrons in an atom have exactly the same set of 4 quantum numbers. There can be at most 2 electrons in any single orbital. So yan na yung pinag-usapan natin kanina, no? About helium, which is having 1 orbital, and each orbital has 2 electrons maximum, no? And sabi natin that it should have a separate direction or spin. So, you cannot write it this way, no? Sa isang orbital na meron siyang parehong direction ng spin. This is wrong. Okay, so we are going to solve some problems later on kung saan ipapakita natin how to distribute that. Another principle na dapat nating maintindihan is yung tinatawag nating Aufbau principle. According to Aufbau principles, orbitals of lowest energy are filled first. So, hindi tayo pwedeng basta-basta na lamang mag-fill ng ating electrons in various energy levels or sublevels, no? Meron tayong sinusunod na sequence sa pag-fill ng ating mga electrons. So, going back to this illustration, importante na maintindihan natin that the energy increases as the distance from the nucleus increases. And if you look at the textbooks, again, magiging familiar sa inyo itong gagawin natin. So, sabi natin kanina, no, bawat energy level, merong sublevels. Okay? So, kung ano yung number ng ating energy level, ganun din yung bilang ng ating sublevels. So, energy level 1, isa lang ang ating sublevel. So, energy level 2, meron tayong 2 sublevel. Sa energy level 3, meron tayong 3, and so on. But how do we fill electrons dito sa ating energy levels and sublevels? So, makikita ninyo in different textbooks itong directions na to. So, first, na ipi-fill natin is yung ating 1s. Second is yung 2s. Third is 2p followed by 3s. Then, 3p followed by 4s. Then, 3d followed by 4p and followed by 5s. And then, 4d followed by 5p, followed by 6s, and so on. Okay? So, yan yung direction ng ating pag-fill ng ating mga energy levels. Well, katulad nung nabanggit natin kanina, electron configuration is also written on this nomenclature. So, following this sequence, makikita natin yung ating electron configuration this way. Okay? It will be written this way. Okay, instead of yung mga boxes kanina, no? So, following this sequence, meron tayong 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, okay? Yan yung pangatlo. 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d10, 4p6, and so on. Alright, and kailangan tandaan natin kung ilan ba yung maximum number of electrons na meron tayo sa bawat subshell natin or sublevel, no? Yung S, P, D, and so on. So, just to review, for our S, we have maximum 2. For P, we have maximum 6. For D, we have maximum 10. F, we have maximum 14. And for G, we have 18. Okay, so let us try that for element magnesium. Okay, so alam natin from our periodic table that magnesium has an atomic number of 12. So therefore, meron tayong 12 protons sa ating nucleus. And for stable magnesium element, we have a total number of electrons which is 12. Alright, so meron tayong 12 electrons. So how are we going to write our electron configuration? Okay, so unahin natin yung ating first energy level. So, meron tayong 1s2. So, alam natin sa S, meron tayong 2 electrons maximum. So, we have 2 electrons here. Okay, so minus 2, meron na lang tayong 10 na kailangan pang i-fill. So, next is second energy level na tayo. And we will have 2s. Yan yung susunod, no? So, sa ating arrow here. So, dito rin sa nomenclature na to. Our next is 2s2. Okay, so maximum number of electron ng S is 2. So we also have 2 electrons here. So meron na tayong 4 electrons. So meron pa tayong kulang na 8 electrons para makomplete yung electron configuration ng magnesium. Okay, so next is itong 2p. So for p, we have maximum of 6. Okay, so pag nilagay natin itong p, ang total number of electrons natin is still 10, no? Kulang pa rin ng dalawa. So that means mapi-fill natin ng buo itong ating P subshell. So we have 2p6 because maximum ng P is 6. And in here we have 6 electrons. Alright, so kulang pa tayo ng dalawa. So anong susunod? 3s. Okay, so we have another orbital here with 2 electrons. So this will be 3s2. And dahil s to, we have maximum of 2 electrons here. So, pag inad natin lahat ng electrons natin, we have 12 electrons dito sa ating ginawang electron configuration. So, this represents the electron configuration of magnesium. Alright, so we can also write this on this nomenclature as 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, and 3s2. That is how we apply yung Aufbau principle by following this sequence of filling our electrons sa ating electron configuration. Now, another principle na kailangan nating tandaan is yung Hund's rule. So, according to Hund's rule, for any set of orbitals of equal energy, it is found that there is one electron in each orbital before there is any pairing. So, alam natin na meron tayong dalawang electrons bawat orbital. Pero how do we fill that? So, let's say for our P4. So, alam natin sa P, we have maximum number of electrons na 6. Right? Pero, dito sa example, meron lang tayong 4 electrons. So, how are we going to fill our orbitals? So, sa P, meron tayong 3 orbitals, di ba? So, how are we going to distribute yung ating electrons dito sa ating orbitals? So, I'll give you an example first. So, I will put up, down. So, meron na tayong dalawang electrons. Then, up, down, meron tayong 4 na electrons. So, that completes yung 4 electrons. However, this procedure is wrong. Dahil sabi sa Hund's rule, it is found that there is 1 electron in each orbital before there is any pairing. So, kailangan i-fill muna natin ng single electron bawat isang orbital bago tayo mag-pair. So, how do we do that? Let's do it again, but this time we're going to follow Hund's rule. So, meron tayong 3 orbitals. So, ipi-fill muna natin bawat isang box ng isang electron. So, 1, 2, 3. Pero meron tayo ditong 4 electrons, so we're going to start pairing our electrons. Magsisimula tayo dito sa left side, in which we have the opposite direction. Okay, so this is how we write or represent our electron configuration following Hund's rule. Okay, so this is the correct sequence ng pag-distribute ng ating electron. Okay, so let us apply yung mga natutunan natin by getting or writing the electron configuration of fluorine. So we know that fluorine has atomic number of 9, which means we have 9 protons sa loob ng ating nucleus, and for stable fluorine, we have 9 electrons present, okay, outside our nucleus. So, meron tayong 9. So, we're going to follow again itong ating sequence based sa Aufbau principle. Alright, so let us start with the first one, which is 1s. So, 9 ang kailangan nating i-fill. So, of course, mapi-fill natin to ng buo. So, we have 2 electrons here. 1, 2. Next is 2s. Okay? So, dahil 9 ang kailangan natin, dalawa pa lang yung nababawas. So, that means we're going to fill all of this. Okay? So, we have 2 electrons. So, meron na tayong 4. Okay? Meron na tayong 4 electrons. So, ang kailangan na lang natin is 5 electrons para ma-complete yung fluorine. So, the next is itong 2p. Now, sa 2p, we know that we can fill maximum of 6. Okay? Kaya lang, 5 na lang yung kailangan natin. Kaya meron lang tayong 2p5. Okay? So, that means 5 electrons lang meron tayo dito. So, if we add all of these electrons, we have a total of 9 electrons. So, following Hund's rule, we're going to distribute our electrons. So, unahin natin yung direction na up. So, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to start pairing. 4 and 5. Okay, so this is the electron configuration of our fluorine. Okay, so we can also write this as 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. Okay, so another question na lumalabas sa mga exam is, tatanungin ka kung ilan ba yung unpaired electrons. So, dito mo yun makukuha. Okay, so in here, makikita natin that meron lang tayong isang box or orbital na walang ka-pair. So, in this example, we have number of unpaired electrons which is equal to 1. Okay? So, let us have another example, and this time we will solve for the element silicon. So, silicon has an atomic number of 14, which means we also have a total number of electrons which is 14. Okay, so following Aufbau principle, ang una is 1s. So, we have 1s2. So, dahil 14 naman yan, so that means we can fill this completely. We have 2 electrons here, 1, 2. Next is 2s. Okay? So, dahil 14 ang ating electrons, dalawa pa lamang nababawas, so we still need 12. So, that means we will fill this completely with 2 electrons. So, we have 1, 2. Next is yung p. Okay? Yung 2p natin dito. Ayan yung next. So, alam natin that we can fill this with 6. Okay? So, dahil 14 ang kailangan, 4 electrons pa lang yung nalalagay natin sa ating electron configuration, we still need 10 electrons, right? Pero dito sa P, we can just put 6. So, that means mapifill natin to completely with 6 electrons. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, notice, sa pagpifill natin, we are following Hund's rule. Okay, pinifill muna natin bawat isa ng 1 electron bago tayo nagpe-pair. Okay, so meron na tayong 10 electrons. So kulang pa tayo ng 4. So next is 3s. Okay, based sa Aufbau principle, next to 2p is 3s. Okay, so 3s needs maximum of 2 electrons. So kailangan pa rin natin 4 kanina, no? So mapifill pa rin natin to completely. Okay, so now how many electrons do we have? 2, 6, 2, 2. So, that means we already have 12 electrons. So, 14 ang kailangan natin. So, dalawa na lang yung kulang. But the next subshell is 3p. Okay? So, alam naman natin sa 3p, meron tayong maximum 6. Okay? Pero dalawa na lang yung kulang natin. So, that means hindi natin yan mapifill completely and we can just write 2 electrons. So, following Hund's rule, magpifill muna tayo ng isa bawat isang box. Alright. So, as you can see, we already completed yung electron configuration ng silicon. We can also write this as 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, and 3p2. Okay? So, Katulad ng question natin kanina, how many number of unpaired electrons do we have? So as you can see, meron tayo ditong dalawang unpaired electrons. Okay? So let us solve another sample problem. So let us identify the element having this electron configuration. 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. So kabaliktaran nung ginagawa natin kanina. Kanina, meron tayong given element, sinusulat natin yung electron configuration. Ngayon naman, meron tayong given na electron configuration, identify naman natin kung anong element ba siya. Okay? So, ang gagawin lang naman natin dito is bibilangin natin kung ilan electron meron tayo. So, nakikita natin dito, no? Itong parang exponent natin katulad ng nomenclature natin kanina, that represents the number of electrons. So, we have 2, 2, 2. So, that means we have 6 electrons present. Okay, so going back to our periodic table, if we have 6 electrons here, for stable elements, we also have 6 protons sa loob ng nucleus. So that means, ang hinahanap natin is yung element na mayroong atomic number na 6. So, looking at our periodic table, we can find that the element having atomic number of 6 is the element carbon. Okay, so that means our answer for this problem is carbon. Alright, so let's go to our last sample problem. So what is the electron configuration of iron 2+? Okay, so we have an ion here. And alam naman natin, ano, kapag may ion tayo, so it's either we have deficiency or we have an excess electron. Okay, so for a stable ion, we have atomic number of 26. This means that the number of electrons in an ion is 26, right? But we have here a 2+, which means this is an ion. So, which means that it lacks 2 electrons. Okay? Kasi alam naman natin that electrons is negatively charged. So, kapag sobra yung electron mo, this will be negative. Okay? Pero, dahil kulang ka ng electron, naging positive siya. Dahil nabawasan yung electron mo. So, that means, dahil positive so, nabawasan ng dalawa yung ating electrons. So, kung meron tayong 26, mababawasan siya ng dalawang electrons. So, that means, the number of electrons of Fe2+ is 24. Okay? So, let us start writing yung ating electron configuration ng Fe2+. Let's again follow yung ating Aufbau principle. So, ilalagay natin yan dito para reference natin. Okay. So, at first, meron tayong 1s. Of course, ang s natin, meron lang maximum na 2 electrons. So, we will complete this. So, kulang na lang tayo ng 22. Okay. Next is 2s. So, 22 pang kailangan natin. So, that means makukumpleto rin natin to ng 2 electrons. Next is P. Okay? So, alam natin that P has maximum of 6. Okay? So, 4 pa lang yung nababawas and we need 24. So, 20 pa yung kailangan natin. So, kahit magbawas tayo dyan ng 6, okay lang. So, that means we can completely fill this with 6 electrons. So, following Hans rule pa rin tayo, no? And then, next is 3s. Okay, so 3s, dalawa lang naman. So, that means we can still complete this orbital. Okay, so now we have total of 12. No? So, meron na tayong 12 electrons. So, kulang na lang tayo ng 12 pa rin na electrons. Alright, so, ang next sa ating sequence is 3p. Okay? So, we know that P can still hold maximum of 6 electrons. So, dahil kailangan pa rin natin ng 12, so that means we can still fill our 3p with 6 electrons. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now, meron na tayong total of 18 electrons. So, 6 na lang yung kulang. So, ano yung sunod sa ating 3p? 4s. Okay, but 4s can hold only 2 electrons. So, that means we can still complete this. Okay? So, minus 2 again to our required electrons. So, meron na tayo ditong 20 electrons. So that means 4 na electrons na lang ang kulang natin. So ano sunod sa 4s? We have 3d. And for 3d, we know that we can fill maximum of 10. Pero we cannot complete this dahil 4 na lang yung kailangan nating electrons. So we can only fill this with 4 electrons. And we're going to follow Hund's rule. So according to Hund's rule, we will fill first each of the box with 1 electron bago tayo mag-prepare. So 4 lang yung kailangan natin. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright? So in this example, we have 4 unpaired electrons. This is our answer for this problem, but we can also write this on this nomenclature. We can write this as 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, and 3d4. Alright? So, I hope naging malinaw na sa atin kung paano ba sinasagutan yung ating mga problems sa electron configuration. So, that's all for now. Thank you very much and have a nice day.